Whether it occurs gradually or in an instant, the features of our landscape are formed by the impact between the fractured shards of the Earth's crust. Everything from the tallest mountains to the deepest trenches at the bottom of the sea are caused by the movement of tectonic plates. At most times, the movement of these plates is virtually undetectable. It is only with the precision of modern instruments that we can detect the slow drift between the continents. But however slowly these plates move under normal circumstances, when two plates collide, disaster results. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and tsunamis are all caused by the interactions between tectonic plates. The term tectonic comes from the Greek word tekton. This is the same word used to describe Jesus and his father Joseph, often translated as carpenter. This word refers to many categories of craftsmen and can describe a stonemason or a builder in general. For this reason, the tectonic plate is seen as a foundation, the bedrock of our world, laid in place as a builder lays down the first course of stones. As Christians, we believe this is perfectly fitting, because as John wrote about Jesus, the greatest tecton, through him all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. Though he was primarily known as Savior, Teacher, and Lord, Jesus was also a craftsman. While this fact is not theologically central, colloquially, this fact has been important through history, and many of the Christian men who have labored with chisels, saws, and hammers have been strengthened to know that in this way they followed in the footsteps of the Master. As he approached the cross, Jesus told his disciples that he was going to prepare a place for them in his Father's house. Even in his glorified state, Jesus is still constructing an everlasting home for his people. Yet here on earth, we also must participate in the work of the kingdom. This work is multifaceted and ongoing, an effort of building and perhaps more importantly,
This is Saint Sartori's tectonic school thing. And like, of all the things that have bubbled up in the corner other than paintball for Jesus, this is the one I actually thought it has the most promise. I always go to try to find his actual great promo video and keep pulling up this one instead. I don't know why.
rebuilding. The kingdom of God is not only a spiritual reality, but a physical one as well. Christians don't just have their hearts cleansed, but are baptized with physical water. In spite of this, we have often neglected the spiritual importance of our material world. Our churches work to proclaim the divine nature of Jesus, but often neglect the fact that he is also fully human and our greatest example of what it means to be fully human. We should remind ourselves that Christ did not come to make us Christians or to save our souls only, but that he came to redeem us in order that we might be human in the
All right, but that picture of that dude, I mean, I don't know. He looks like a shyster. Spoon Man. Good to see you. Good to see you. There's the gist of the show. It is all is one bit. Is Kale retweeted Paul's thing on mysticism, and I didn't quite feel confident to share the stream assault I did on that video. In reply to that tweet, so I wanted to go deeper into the new age. This age, all is one nonsense. And really, it was just me thinking about my cats that made me want to do this stream. That, and I spent about an hour in a Twitter space that was silent just because. Just because. Welcome everybody. We'll do them savings throws in the card thing soon. I'm much like a caterpillar. It goes in its cocoon, and turns into goo. I think my relapse into Jumpgate was a cocooning of sorts, and I'm still kind of gooey. Still kind of.
Is everything all right in here?
Yes, Nanny.
Just a little gooey, Nanny. No, but like seriously, Mitz, where's the good one? I mean, it's got all the. I've found it before. I know.
Learning how to grow.
No, not you, man. It's when you did all the clip work and stuff. Is it the oldest? Oh dear. Fuck it. I mean, we're also gonna go deep into this son of a bitch tonight. That's gonna be fun. Here's a short sample. Wait, not the conclusion. Exposure to too severe threat can yield classical conditioning effects. That is, the traumatized individual can learn to associate previously neutral external and internal stimuli that saliently preceded or accompanied the threat with a representation of the inherently aversive, hence unconditioned event. Such idiosyncratic stimuli resulting from this type of associative learning signal that threat is about to happen once more and are called sequential conditioned stimuli. So, yeah, well, I hope to get into that as well. But boy howdy, I don't getting there from here. Here. No, you just put his face up. No, God damn it, Mike. I mean, home. Well, see, the thing is, here, let's see what's for my subscriptions we can play. Jizz with a real monster. Let's not. How to attract you and your dream woman. Come on, Harley. Come on, what's going on there? Hey, Sally, a thing. Let's do Sally's thing.
Consider the beauty of the blossom. Consider the blooming of the blossom. Consider the fading of the blossom. Consider the falling of the blossom. Such are we. Such are the many phases of our lives. And I have come to wonder if it is indeed the blooming and the momentary nature that is the magnificence. If this flower were immortal, if the life of the things around us endured forever until dust came upon them, would they be so marvelous? I don't know. And
I think it's more my own personal finitude that makes me experiencing the bloom, whether immortal, perennial, or not. Cherishable. Cherishable. Cherishable? Oh dear. All right, time for the card and the savings throws part.
The list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast magic missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am though, if you'd listen. I'm casting magic missile. Why are you casting magic missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
Yes, we're a voice and communal awareness. Right? What? What are you even talking about? Just do a card. Just pull a card for the show, man. What the hell? You're a mess. You're a blooming mess. A blooming mess, right? Because the blooms.
and they hold great similarity to our lives. For we are ever blooming, we are ever fading. Our childhood blooms and fades. Our adulthood blooms and
Bloom where you're planted. Does that like even in this jail, what your body's a jail, your mind is a jail. You have the key, it's inside you. What? Because you form your own perspectival lens as part of your orientation machinations. Card for the show. Oh, look at that, the Queen of Spades. That's great. That's great. Remember, there is no agency. We want what's best. Well, there was a controversial opinion. Hello, Redox. We'll deal with that after the savings throws. Here on the show, you get a savings throw versus the mind control you swim in, and that's just so you count our advertisers we try to be friendly to. And so the way it works is you get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart to invest yourself in the roll of the die. If the die comes out 10 or higher, you take half damage from the mind control that follows. If it's less than 10, you take full damage. But remember, everybody, we want what's best for you. The survival die is still missing, but you can choose it. Nice. The people who roll a self die do it whenever they want. That was a good time. What? No, good time to do that is during the shanty. Yeah, we're going to get that in a minute. All right, what are we doing? The savings throws. Right. So survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. There's a gain knob in the back of the microphone, too. Oh. Survivalists, we don't know. Socialists, 12 for you. Lovers of wisdom, and 11. An 11 heart folks. The number of the OA, right? 5. That's a prime, I think. I think it's a prime. Oh, and the Indigo kids, you got the 9s. making the 18. Hey, there we go. Most people, I didn't even pay attention to what the numbers were.
You're crushing me, people. You're crushing me. I'm big, but I'm not that big.
But now let's get into this fancy pants derailment of what? Yes, no, this one. Zionism. Is it based or not? Well, if you're going to rule a population of a human labor force, if you're going to make spiritual Sardukar, isn't it better to have an adversarial force implanted in their rearing to make them stronger? What? I don't know. We're supposed to be going into that. Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna have a look at you.
Please do. Meanwhile, we're coming up upon this Friday. This Friday will be the annual celebration of the incarnation, the arrival of my selfhood through a vagine onto this planet with amongst you. And some of you love me so much, you'll be wondering, what should we do? What should we do to celebrate this momentous occasions? And to that effect, I say, you know what would really make me happy? There's this horrible thing. They call it. We can refer to it as a serious threat to our democracy, right? Where they show all those newscasters saying the exact same thing, and then they do the big, the one I wanted to do the JFK echo with. Well, like, you guys won't do the JFK echo, right? But maybe if I ask real nice, you'll all do a shanty for my birthday.
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see doing what is right for me. Is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
Okay, and apparently Zionism is still based. Friday, Franco is speaking of redoxing, based on a social construct. A social construction, is that a fancy way of saying LARP? All is one. All is one. The secret beauty behind the concept of all being one is that, like, to be a good person, you really only have to be good to one other entity, because that entity is the embodiment of all, and you're being great to all things when you're being super nice to the one thing, such as your cat. So if it is such that the theologians and whatnot, because, everybody sticks to their opinions, but for all we know, this is just a really bad dream. And what? Long dream. A really long dream. And anyway, we don't really know what's going on. But if it turns out that all is one, then you can score way sorts of bonus points just by being nice to your cat. And that was the entire notion behind doing the All Is One stream. And now what? Oh, it's happy birthday to you. I can't sing the song. I think they'll copyright flag it for it. But let's see. Should I run that thing we thought had a penis on it in celebration of your birthday? Here, have some signs and wonders.
Sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy when don't take my sunshine away. Don't take my sunshine away.
York Gartham says the happy birthday song is copyrighted. I think that's the definition of tragic. Well, we have a multitude of the definitions of tragic. One for me is how, like, some scientist doctor folks made up this peanut butter paste that would really handle the nutrition of them starving kids. And then there was like a patent and a copyright thing that made it so the kids never got any. And that was great. That was great. It's little things like that. How you think there's good in the world, and then you look under the surface and you see the rot and it's actually horrible. That's what pushes. That's what reinforces the Gnostic belief system that, like, we are not of and or meant for this place, but we're just visiting. We're just visiting, and if you can, and then what? Why are we visiting if we're visiting? I personally prefer the spiritual Sardukar option, where we've come here to become the spiritual elite by going through some of the most gruesome, horrendous, and Gomorric. Is Gomorric a word? Gomorric life conditions known to sentience across the demi-urgent. This one's great, but you get to see the sides. Okay, and so, but like, really, this raw nonsense that I found in 2011, as far as I can tell, it's the entire basis for a lot of what they call the New Age nonsense, and like, it's got the Confederation of Planets and this and that, and it's really like. Its origin was there was a threesome in a cabin somewhere with a recorder, with a history of trying to fabricate alien contact, who put a lady in a trance, and then there was a channeling thing of her, and they channeled the entity that referred to itself as Ra. The one that built the pyramids, and it's. But the cosmology there is thorough and includes both sides, which is rather lacking, and from the Christian cosmology, honestly, it's like the theodicy issue becomes it, because we don't tell you about the evil because it's evil, and we don't want you to go that way. It makes it feel like it's half-hearted, or designed for sheep, that not adepts or those pursuing the greater depth of what character development. Why are if the had it and air this one.
I believe that if everyone sees what just a few people become when they wholly embrace their gifts, others will awaken.
Oh yeah, it does. Channeling. It was coming out on the regular. I think they finally finished. See, and I can tell you why the story captured me, right? Because they gave us it was the transcript of the audio recordings that was given to me to read, not the books published by the people made the transcripts with their interpretation, but just the raw stuff, the raw stuff. It's I can't use the audio because he says a clever thing at the front, but if it's still there, there it is. They do a nice no audio. It's these folks. There's theoretically the transcriptionist guy is still alive. The other two have passed on. The part of the fascinating part of this, okay, the hooks that got me that were in the transcript somewhere is first that there was going to be a harvest starting in about 30 years. And based on when they were recording and when I was listening to them, that was a real convenient time, as it was nearing the apocalypse date of 12/21/2012. Here's a sample. I am Ra. We communicate now. We too have our place. We are not those of the love or of the light. We are those who are of the law of one. In our vibration, the polarities are harmonized, the complexities are simplified, and the paradoxes have their solution. We are one. That is our nature and purpose. And I don't know. I like the way the guy talks. In the same way we like the guy. In the same way we like the way Sling Blade talks. I like the way this Ra character speaks through this lady, and I like the cosmology presented as an octave we're progressing through, with basically the chakra stages as the spaces between the lines. And there's a staircase of light. It's all fancy. The chief pieces I've taken away that are worth examining, I think, in the context of this little corner, is that why is there the separation between why do we not experience the oneness in our current incarnation? And they say we are here to choose between the left or the right hand path, and once we decide one way or the other, and then polarize ourselves in that direction, we ready ourselves to be harvested to the next level of spiritual incarnation, which follows one of those paths into the totalitarian dystopian power nightmare, and or the broadening, expansive, everybody loves everybody thing. Now, in that system, the two paths rejoin up at wisdom, because like down here it's folly, and then wisdom, and then up, and it's fancy. But yeah, I mean, they say some pretty hairy stuff about that Jesus fella everybody's so hung up on. I think it's, as Paul likes to refer to it, as Gnostic fan fiction, where like being the all-powerful deity the whole time, he accidentally kills somebody when he's 10, when that's how he comes to realize he's the all-powerful whatever. And then they also say he kind of screwed up by sacrificing himself, and it was the fullest embodiment of love, but not so much the wisdom, because more good could have been done. And it's definite straight heresy as far as all that goes. But it's an interesting and thorough cosmology that works. It explains, I don't know, it kicks everything to the next level. Like the nowness of here is sort of, we are players on the stage. We agreed to come here to learn these things, and we're here by choice. Like, why did you choose to come here? You did it. It's not something I can go into deeply under these circumstances, I don't think. But I did want to point out that the the beauty of the all is one philosophy is that you don't have to you don't have to save the world. You just have to be good where you can to what's around you. And I don't know. That's a nice thought. This one again. All is one means you can touch everything. Kind of puts a lot of responsibility into play in some ways, I think. Well, you said the word responsibility, Spoon Man, so I'm running the other way. Hey, Eve. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. All right. So, trauma. The maintenance of structural disassociation. What? Yes. Yes, I wanted to do this. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I did want to do it. Now, what this gargantuan document seems to be is the trauma-related structural disassociation of the personality by Ellert Nudgehuis, Ono van der Hurt, and Kathy Steele. Their opening quote is, "Now and again there occur alterations of the emotional and the apparently normal personalities. The return of the former often heralded by a severe headache, dizziness, or by a hysterical convulsion. On its return, the apparently normal personality may recall, as in a dream, the distressing experience revived during the temporary intrusion of the emotional personality." Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh dear. I didn't think through going through this at all. But basically, the failure of integrative capacities in the face of threat. Okay, no, you can't. You can't. I can't go through it like this. It was a noble intention. But I can surmise. It's basically if you break somebody young enough before there's the formation of the integrated personality whole, then the subsystems of like threat detection and response and attachment, the whole avoid approach or avoid dynamic is those two systems that we try to balance in optimal grip of opponent processing. Those two systems haven't integrated into their optimal grip opponent processing part, and they function separately. In the dissociative state, you kind of flop between one and the other. And if there's significant breakage, then each of the subsystems, they can manifest as like you can go from this guy that approaches to this broken one that avoids to this one that approaches but in a different way, and that is the nature of breaking people when they're young. And this came to mind mainly because the summum bonum. Do you guys remember the summum bonum? I hope so, because we're gonna play it. What? Wait, what? Yes, it's here. And then see it all. Sorry, guys. I mean, what? No. Shh. It's okay. It's okay.
Here we go with Bishop Barron's fancy hit, Summum Bonum.
That logo is called the meaning of music.
Can I just jump in? The mind and the intelligible form light up each other. Light up each other. Each one illumines the other. So the objectively valuable addresses me. It rearranges me. It rearranges me. It's turned me upside down. What was the first song that rocked your world, changed you, that rearranged your consciousness, like a Rolling Stone? Rock my world. Rock my world. Rock my world. Summum bonum. The summum bonum. Yeah, there's a summum bonum. Rock my world. Summum bonum. It really gets interesting. The summum bonum is this. Rock my world. It rearranges me. It's summum bonum breaking into my reluctant and recalcitrant consciousness. Summum bonum, bring it to the religious level. It's not you who've chosen me, it's I who've chosen you. And it's not you who've chosen me, it's I who've chosen you. And it's summum bonum, not you who've chosen me. Summum bonum, revelation. Summum revelation. Stunning objectivity, the good confronts us, changes us, and it doesn't let us go. And stunning objectivity, the good confronts us, changes us, and it doesn't let us go. Light up each other. Light up each other. Doesn't let us go. And light up each other. Summum bonum. Light up each other. Revelation. It's turned me upside down. What was the first song that rocked your world? Rocked your world. Summum bonum. The summum bonum. Yeah, there's a summum bonum. Rock my world. Summum bonum. It really gets interesting. Revelation is the ultimate expression of that. Revelation is the ultimate expression of that. Revelation is the ultimate expression of that.
So, anyways, I'm going to leave it at that.
Thank you, Pascal, for that one. No, don't autoplay. No, stop it. But we have that on deck now. The reason I made you guys go through that is because the whole notion of having your world wrecked and turned upside down is on my mind. The way, like the example I like to go to for my own is the whole notion of you're an immortal soul here, and if you do good, you'll go to heaven, and if you do bad, you'll go to hell for eternity. What, I'm only here for 50, 70 years, and that determined, that's what that whole, the whole notion of an immortal soul in that circumstance was like what I grew up into, the dominant belief structure of the dominant metaphysics of the culture in which I was raised. But at one point it occurred to me, if we're an immortal soul, why are we brand new? why was there making new ones? Why they were here the whole time? Like, and then the whole what was I before I was born and stuff like that. It's those the psychic stab wounds, schisms that break up your worldview, and those sorts of things. And that was on my mind because so many of those have come to me as I educated myself by reading different things. And recently, in my attention span, has come the battle over what books are. What's more? Hey, can we have these pornographic books in your school? Sure, sure. Or no, say the parents, right? That whole fight that's going on in our education system, while I'm speaking theoretically to parents who are in their phones, and I'm like, why would we even care about books? The kids aren't going to read them; they're books. But there's something. I try to recall my younger, like, nescient mind, the first time things come on you, the way they can break you in different ways, and how that's actually part of what these books might be designed to do. Because while humans continue to evolve, one thing we get better at whatever we do, and one thing that we're getting better at is the indoctrination of the young people into believing the crazy nonsense we like them to believe, except the we isn't we, because the we that's the we is we were goofing off, we thought everything was fine, and so we were just watching TV and stuff and didn't know you were coming for the kids. Whoa! And so those things are on my mind. The way that I'm just wait. You know, they give me this whole history of the species, and everybody else had entire lifetimes to be something, and we're just in this constant adaptation to rapid change space, and it's really not fair. I mean, why don't I get to spend a whole lifetime hunting buffalo before the white man come? Why not? Or did I? What's really going on?
Like Hobo's Lullaby. Go to sleep, you weary hobo. Let the town go drifting by. Listen to the steel rails a-hummin'. That's a hobo's lullaby.
All right. So there. It's all one. Be nice to your cat. Big trauma papers are too much to do on a live stream, and I'm still alive, and so are the cats, thanks to the Shadow Cabal and people like Ops. Thanks. I hope you guys have fun at church in the morning. Remember it.
This agency. We want back.